Welcome to Kart Class, brought to you by 18 times Australian champion David Serra. Kart Class strives to give kart racing drivers the fundamental driving skills, kart setup, and the mindset required to take you from beginner to winner. Your host, David Serra, has over 25 years' experience in kart racing and is the most successful driver in Australian history.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Kart Class podcast. I'm your host, 18-time Australian champion David Serra, and today we're going to be discussing whether you should be buying a second-hand kart or a new kart when starting out. So as we know, motor racing can be quite dangerous, and also comes with that is you need to know the expenses that motor racing involves. Karting is no different. So when you're looking to see whether you want to get involved in the sport, the startup costs are where it really starts to hurt the family. Now, when we're looking at, say, a new kart package compared to a second-hand kart package, you might be able to save yourself sort of, maybe $2,000 to $2,500 if you choose to go second-hand rather than new. But what are the perks of going second-hand rather than new? So straight away, if you're looking to go second-hand, you don't know whether it's been crashed, whether it's been straightened and bent, you don't know what sort of condition the brakes are in. Just straight away, you've got no idea the history of the kart. Now, old mate who you're buying the kart off, they might say it's 1 or 2 races old, but realistically, we don't know that. Unless you know the history of the kart and you're in the sport for a little bit and you've followed it and you've seen that kart racing since it's new, it's going to be quite hard to know what sort of condition the kart's in. But one of the good things is if you do go second-hand is that when you're starting it, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to look up the brakes. You're going to spin off the track. You will go into the gravel trap, and at some point, you're going to make contact with another kart. So when you're learning, it's quite good that if you have a crash or, like I said, a spin in the stones and you scratch a kart, it's less likely to show up on a second-hand kart. So it's not really going to be as big a worry, rather than if you have a new kart, you don't really want to go and damage it straight out of the box. So that's where a second-hand kart can sort of, be quite beneficial. Now, another spot where it can be beneficial is if you're saving of that, say, that couple of $1,000s towards something else. Now, whether that covers all your safety gear, your license and membership, a helmet, it could be for some coaching, it could be for a new set of tyres, or just some tools and consumables, that can be a great way to get onto the kart track. Also, you might be able to put it towards a mode of transport, so whether that's a smaller trailer or things like that. So that's where you can sort of benefit from getting a second-hand kart. Now, as we mentioned at the start, some of the negatives that can be involved with a second-hand package is literally just not knowing the history of the kart. You might find that you get onto the track cheaper, but then all of a sudden the maintenance costs to keep this kart going, that you need a new brake pad straight away. Or you might find that the axle's got a slight ding and it might need to be replaced or straightened. The bearings might not spin freely, so you might want to replace the bearings. The steering column and the stubs, and the kingpins, are they exactly true and straight? So that's what you sort of got to weigh up. Can I get into karting? Yes. Well, then do I want to save the cost on the kart or do I want to save the cost somewhere else? Now, when you're looking at a new kart, the kart's going to be, obviously, it's brand new. So straight away, brakes are in working condition perfectly. Most likely the old mate who you've bought the kart off, whether it's a kart shop or it's online or something like that, they're going to set up the kart for your needs. So straight away, the seat position's in the correct position, the seat size is in the correct position, the pedals are all into position. So straight away when you slip into your go-kart, you feel like a glove. And so the confidence that is going to bring to you as a driver is going to be so beneficial when you're having those first couple of laps and you're a bit nervous and the speeds and things like that and other karts around you. Now, another thing, you don't have to worry about the history of the kart. So straight away, the performance of a brand new kart is always going to far outweigh a second-hand performance. Now, when I say second-hand, it might mean that the kart could be, a couple of years old. But if you're looking to grab a new kart, it's knowing that the performance for at least the next 12 to 18 months without any crashes is going to be at its peak performance. So that's a really good thing to know straight away. You've got good confidence that you can go and drive the kart and there's going to be nothing that really, touch wood, would go wrong. But as I said, it's the added expense. So it's whether you want to go all out and know that if you do have a couple of crashes, that straight away you might be a little bit pissed off because, the new sticker kit, that's going to have a few tyre marks on it. The brand new paint job that you've got have a few scratches on it. So you got to sort of weigh up which way you want to go. Now, for me, when I started out, Dad sort of gave me a second-hand kart package. And obviously from there, it was all about just learning, making mistakes. It was all about not sort of stressing out too much in regards to damaging the actual equipment. It was more so getting comfortable, getting confidence up in a second-hand package. Once he actually knew that I actually liked the sport and I was going to put some time and effort into it, then I was like, okay, once we can afford to get a new car, will give you a little bit better chance. But most people I see that start off now is you see a bit of a mixture in secondhand and in new karts, and everyone's in different positions. But I would highly recommend if you start off in the sport to go secondhand. That way you can sort of learn and make mistakes. You can also tinker on the kart a little bit so you get sort of a bit more mechanical knowledge as well. So if something doesn't go 100% correct, it's no big deal. Also, when you're sort of looking to trade in the kart to maybe go to a newer kart, if you've already bought a secondhand kart, you're not going to lose as much value because you've already saved the initial costs. So when you're selling the kart, you'll lose a little bit, but it's not as much as going from a new kart to a secondhand kart. So that's it for today on whether you're looking to buy a secondhand or a brand new kart when you're starting out in the sport. Karting is obviously a very, very cool sport. You get to travel around to a lot of fun tracks and a lot of fun towns. You get to meet a lot of good people along the way as well. So if you've enjoyed this episode of our Kart Class podcast, don't forget to leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, and we really appreciate your support as well. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
If you've enjoyed today's episode and want to learn more about your kart racing, be sure to check out kartclass.com.au for driving courses catered to all skill levels.